what in the yeah, look, the first and foremost thing that I want to say, I despise black Christians. They are very much hypocrites. They just they are. There are no words that I can actually use to describe that I want to say. And I want to be respectful in the video and not, you know what I'm saying, just keep it casual and not put certain type of language in this video. But even within our own families, the white man's Christianity has got our people bugged out. And they thinking that they are of the most high, but they not. They deceiving their own selves. You know what I'm saying? They really are. When you really like, when you man, it's a lot, bro. It's a lot. When you really get down and out, you'll know who your friends really are. You'll know who really on in your corner and the people that's not really in your corner. They are very much hypocrites to the max. And then they wonder why you have a problem with Christians. And then when they come up, you know how so-called Christian people do, they walk up to you, hello, I haven't seen you in a while. I haven't seen you in a while. What tell your mother I say hello. And knowing good and well in their own mind, they don't mean none of that what they saying. They just saying stuff out their head because they know they don't. It's like Judas. And then when you expose them right in their face, then everybody looking at you like, baby, you don't talk to nobody like that. You got to know how to carry yourself. You know, stuff like that. You know how some of the older ones will jump in and say, hey, you don't hold your peace and let the law. All that stuff ain't got us nowhere. It just got us in a docile state of mind. We ain't together. We don't help each other. We don't do none of that because we have the white man's religion in our mind. We got these white images. Notice that black, our women of color, I say, you can't be sitting up and for me myself, I ain't gonna be sitting. If I'm for my people, I'm for my people. I ain't gonna be sitting up here being no modern day Uncle Tom. I ain't got time to be sitting up here saying one thing and doing another one. Like you have a lot of our people, a lot of our women of color, especially, they have it bad. When they're like me, I ain't gonna talk, I ain't gonna say the oppressors. Okay. If you're gonna be with your oppressor, be with your oppressor. If you're gonna be with your oppressor, be with your oppressor. Don't turn around and act like you all like our oppressors is treating us like this here. Our oppressors is doing this here. But as soon as something go down, you call it you contradicting yourself. It's like you pro-black. It's being pro-anti. You see what I'm saying? In other words, you're being a hypocrite. That's what it is. You're being a hypocrite. All the videos that I do, you can go on my first channel and you can see all of my videos on my old Clarence Ray YouTube channel. I don't never change my video. I don't, for example, I ain't never got on my video and talked down and bad about my own people and then take and upload another video and talking about, oh, I can't stand my own people of color. I don't do that. But you have a lot of our women of color, they will sell you out in a minute. You see what I'm saying? They'll tell you things about, oh, they're oppressing us and that and that. And as soon as they get the first chance, they will go and date that very man that they claim that was so and doing them so bad and doing us so bad. You know what I mean? You can't, I don't do that. If I'm not gonna turn around and flip-flop with you and tell you that you know what I mean? Like be for our people. And I'm for our people. Like me, go look at my videos. None of my videos don't never contradict my words. Cause if I say if I'm speaking my videos one way, they stay that way. I'm not gonna get on my camera and say so and so this. I can't stand my own. I hate black people. Like like, come on, I hate black people. I hate black people. I hate this. And then in another video, I'm saying, oh, I love my people and the white and so on and so forth. And I talk about the history of the slave trade. And then I turn around and get on here and say something totally that will let you know that this person has a double mind. You know what I mean? That's what it is. A double-minded person is unstable in all their ways, right? So when you double like that, that's literally what it is. You flip-flopping, you going back and forth. To me, it doesn't make any sense. What in the world would I look like? Talking about, I speak on the history about what our people been through. And then in essence, you see me in a video with some Caucasian people. And I'm talking about how it's just as you see how much sense that doesn't make. And I'm taking photos and selfies with them and all that kind of stuff. I would be stupid. You literally could clown me for that. This is what a lot of our people do, because it confuses me. A lot of our women of color, they do that. As soon as they get into a debate, dispute with a man of color, the first thing they do is they jump on their phones and call they call the so-called white man. That's what they do. They call on the so-called white man, the very person that they say. I mean, you know what I mean? How could you do that? This is Malcolm X talked about that. He said the field Negro is different from the house Negro. The house Negro would turn around and get on the phone and call a master. You see what I'm saying? And they'll be somewhere else talking to you, but going back talking to Hitler. You ain't gonna rock. It's like this here. You're not gonna come up to me and call yourself rocking with me 5 or 6 days, and then you turn in essence turn right back around and go rock with Hitler. No, you ain't gonna do that with me. That's something that I don't do. That's something that in my videos I don't do. You see what I'm saying? You have a lot of our people even in the Christian church that's doing this here. They'll sing that song, they'll rock and sing that church music and jump up and down and all this kind of stuff like they so saved and holy sanctified and filled with the Holy Ghost and all of that. Need a favor now and see what happens. That will tell the real deal. They'll sit up there and act like they rocking with their white Jesus and they with their Jesus and their God. And as soon as you get in a financial situation, you will find out real quick. You will find out how quick. You will find out quick who rocking with you and who ain't. And this is what a lot of our people are brainwashed. And remember, I'm not putting down on our people. I'm just saying how we are brainwashed and we are conditioned into this certain way of thinking. We are trained to be house coons and house Negroes. That's what we're doing. And as soon as we call ourselves getting in trouble or something, and then they'll make an excuse and say, oh, we don't have no protection. This is what our women of color will say. Oh, we don't have no protection. So we had to call somebody. We had to call the white man. That's the little stick, the justification stick that they're going to use. And knowing good and well they brainwashing it when the push comes to shove, they'll give in and rock with them white folks. I know in my heart, and I heard somebody else say it too. And this is not to put down on our people, that the women of color, the females of color, is the right hand man of white supremacy. They will turn around and they will dial that 911 and had them white folks out there on you in a heartbeat. They would do it. Get into a debate with them or run them, or take your car and hit them in the back of the car. Whether you did it on purpose or whether you did it um, on purpose or accidentally, and you get smart about it and see what's going to happen to you. What's going to happen to that black man? He'll be in jail or in prison because she going to make sure that she call him up. And guess whose side they're going to take? The slave master. Her slave master is going to take her side. Not because they really care about that woman of color, but because they looking at them as concubines. That's what they're looking at them for. And I really do believe that a lot of our people, I think the majority of our people of color are coons and Uncle Toms and house Negroes. I think the majority of our people is coons and house Negroes. I really do. The average person that you bump into and walking, going up into, whether you in the mall, whether you're in Walmart or whatever, whether the vast majority of black people that you see are house Negroes. Most of them are. It's a very few that's not. It's a very few that's not. And they will turn you in to the white master with the blink of your eye. Or either, let's say, if you hit one of them, if they made you mad, they're going to look at it, well, you should have held your tongue. They ain't trying to hear all that. Well, I wonder what happened that made him do this. No, this is the brainwashing and the condition. This is modern day slavery. Do something to one of them now. Whether that female is old or black female or whatever, is older or young. If they come out, you know whose side they're gonna be on? The female side. Why? Because they're looking at it as a concubine. I'm telling you, we have double standards over here in this land of confusion. I don't call it America. I call it the land of confusion. That's what it is. They not Christian. You see anybody making a bunch of noise? Talking about, oh, all to Jesus I surrender, the white Jesus or whatever. Laugh at them because that's what they deserve. They deserve to be laughed at and made a mockery of because they ain't hitting on nothing. I'm telling you, they ain't hitting on nothing. They got white supremacy in their mind. When you find a black woman, a woman of color, tell you she gonna call the police on a man of color, know for sure that she has a white supremacist mindset. That's what it is. It's a white supremacist mindset. And the laws, the wicked laws, ain't trying to hear the male side. They ain't trying to even hear that. All they want is a conviction. And they just gonna look at, oh, this is a female. Oh, we got him. Slavery has messed our people up. That's why we as a people of color is not together. That's why we as a people of color is not together. Let me bring this up in the video, y'all. Have y'all ever been in a situation to where whether you work for something or whether you didn't work for something, would you go to work and how would you feel if you worked and you had to take all the money that you make and you had to give it to somebody else? You just had to. You have no other choice. Would you feel like you're working in vain? I would. Let me ask you another question. How would you feel as a man of color? Or maybe, I don't know, a woman of color. Maybe you can fit this in. But just for the record, okay, just for the record, I say, for the most part, I'm gonna say the man. How would you feel if you went to church all your life? Just think for let's say you went to church all your life for over 50 some years. You realize that you've been cheated out of your salvation, or you've been robbed of a misunderstanding. You've been robbed of an understanding, and you thought that you had an understanding. And the people, the leaders and the teachers who you was under, that you looked up to teach you the right way, everything that they taught you, you realize in essence that, let's say you come to the light and you find out that it was a lie. Then on top of that, you don't steal, you don't do any stealing, you don't do any crime, you don't do any drugs, you don't do none of that. You submissive to this white God, you submissive to these fake Christians or whatever, and you submissive to this white God, and all of that, faithfully bringing the person's money back, not stealing, not their money. They never had a complaint that their money came up short. They never had no complaint. Nothing came up short. I'm just speaking in general. You did all these things your whole life. You went to church. Let's just say that you went to church, and you were submissive. You were very obedient. You were very humble as a Christian. Suppose, like, so, quote unquote. We know that Christian ain't nothing but white supremacy. But let's say you out of ignorance, you're serving the Most High that you thought you were serving to the best of your ability. You come to a conclusion that everything you was taught, you've been lied to, and all of a sudden, when you reach out for something, or when you reach out for help, because you was honest in everything that you did, you was very honest, you was straight up, you was honest, straight up and down. You did it for 40 to 50 years. You never done anybody nothing wrong. You never walked over a person. Let's say you did that. You lived a whole righteous life, walking into this Christianity, and you come to a conclusion one day and you realize you've been brainwashed. You've been taught wrong. Your language, you was raped of your language. You was raped of your thoughts process. You was raped into believing that this was real. You was raped into believing that it was real. You was raped into believing that thou shalt not steal, stealing from your neighbor. You was taught that everybody was your neighbor when everybody is not your neighbor. You was taught that even the so-called white man was your neighbor. You was taught to be a submissive Christian every week. But you really realized that you had to be retaught again, because you really realized everything that you follow, it's like you went to bed and it's like you had a dream and it looked real. And when you wake up out the dream, you really realize it ain't worth nothing. And when you really need that person for something, you can't even go to that person for nothing. You can't go to the person for anything at all. You can't even say, hey, I need a ride to the hospital. Church people, I need a ride to the hospital. So-called church people. Christianity, that's that white Jesus. You can't even go to them and get help with your bill. You can be, whether you could be a child that depended on your parents. You rejected by your parents because of this Christianity. You rejected by your parents. You all different ways. You like, wow, my dad ain't that for me. My dad was a so-called preacher. And everything. Just imagine you being in that state of mind and you followed all of that. Do you not think that you would be angry? Do you not think that you would have a reason to be angry? Of course you would. Let somebody strip you of your culture, rape you of your pride. Let's say you being physically raped, and just imagine the type of mind frame you'll be in. And they expect for you to come out and be this great Christian. They expect for you to come out, oh, stand strong. Remember now, it is a double standard when it comes to women. The man got to come out and he got to hold his tongue. The man come out, he got to do all these submissive things. The man come out, oh, he got to honor. He got to honor his this. He got to honor his elders. He got to do this. He got to honor this here. I'm talking about how this Christianity done messed us up. A woman can go on that same rant, and everybody gonna be asking, what was the problem that made him do that, or made her do that? But when it comes to a man, it ain't nearby gonna be no excuses. It's gonna be, we got to cut, we got to cut his head off. We got to do something like that. This is how bad Christianity done did some damage to us. I can tell by the way people respond. When you notice, you can tell when people ain't hitting on that. You can tell. You can tell. When you go to a church, when you hear people jumping up and shouting, hallelujah, and the man can sound good. As soon as you open your Bible and teach them the laws, the statutes, and the commandments, guess what they're gonna do? When that music stops, they're gonna stop. They don't want to have nothing to do with them laws. But they can make all kind of noise with that book, with the Bible. They can make all kinds of noise, but it ain't nothing behind it. It's crazy. Yeah. A lot of people that make a bunch of noise, mark them out, please. Let me say that again. A lot of people that make a lot of noise supposed to be in a building or a place or dwelling place, run from them. Put on a good pair of shoes and make sure the shoes is in good condition, in perfect condition. Run as fast as you could, because it ain't nothing to it. I'm here to tell you, anybody that wants to grow up, any of our young boys, young men, or women that wants to grow up and be a part of Christianity, especially the young boys, you ain't missing nothing. I'm here to tell you, you ain't missing nothing. Leave that fake Christianity stuff alone. You ain't missing not one. Trust me, you ain't missed out on not one thing. Because if you decide to go that route and call yourself putting your life, you want to be this good Christian, serve God, love everybody, and all that kind of stuff. I'm warning you not. You're going to be disappointed like me. And I don't want you to turn out like me and be disappointed, because you will be mad. You will be literally walking down the streets angry. And I wake up every day literally angry because of the evil and the atrocities that the so-called white man put up on our nation. And the so-called white man is continuing to repeat in the patterns of their ancestors. So don't get yourself involved in saying you're a Christian or Christianity, because you will be disappointed. Because you would have wasted your whole life and brought up believing a lie, when in essence it was all a lie, and you thought it was real. Have y'all ever laid down and had a dream, and in the dream it looked real? The dream looked real, and you wake up and come to reality, oh, that was a dream. And usually when you have a dream and you don't remember that dream, usually that be a dream that wasn't nothing. It wasn't what God revealed to you, for the most part. But everybody that say they're Christians ain't Christians. Everybody that holler and jump and sing and jump up and down and holler and get up every Sunday morning and blast their radios, that ain't hitting on that. That ain't hitting on a hill of bean. That ain't nothing but some garbage. And that 9 cents out of 10, they garbage too. They is garbage. When you hear them blasting music from blasting gospel music from here to New York, you better mark them out and put your running shoes on, and you better run as fast as you could. I'm warning any young man, black young man, a so-called black young man who want to get caught up into that, leave it alone, because it ain't nothing but a disease. That's all it is. Do your research, and do your research on the slave trade in the history. That's what I'm encouraging you to do. Not go and sit up in no building, in no churches, because all that is white supremacy. Church buildings and all that is man-made. Don't mess with that. Don't mess with going into no organization, none of that. I'm telling you from experience, because I tried living this righteous stuff and it just it failed. It ain't hitting on that. I'm telling you from experience. So I'm gonna tell every young person, do not follow no religion, do not follow no church, no religion. Do your research. That's the best church you can get. Do your research on the history of the slave trade. That's what I'm encouraging you to do. Not go and sit up in nobody's pool, nobody's building, listening to no man lie to you, because that's all they're gonna do is come with a bunch of lies. Now I'm telling y'all from experience. I'm not telling you something, just hearing myself talk or just repeating myself. Don't let nobody cheat you out on your salvation, your religion, and lie to you, because that's all you do when you go to church. Whether it's going to church on a Sunday or going on a Saturday, they ain't gonna do nothing but lie to you every day, all through the day. And that's what the news media is all about. It's all about lying to you and telling you a bunch of lies. That's what this gospel music is all about. Nothing but a bunch of lies. That's it. Leave it alone. Because in the eyes of the people that's stuck in Christianity, they're going to always be right and you're going to be wrong. That's it. Look, it's going to be about you make the mistake and they never make a mistake. That's another thing you want to look out for. And something is telling me is to tell y'all in this video that, because all of them, it's going to always be right. I don't care what you say, how much you in the right. In their eyes, they righteous. I don't care what you say. And you're gonna be the went to the store all your life, coming from church, going to the store, not stealing and all of that, and you still gonna get walked over, and you still gonna get a push and a shove in the face. That's what you're gonna get. You ain't gonna be heard out. That's another thing you ain't gonna get. You ain't gonna be heard out. Nobody, your thoughts ain't gonna matter. None of that. How you feel is not gonna matter. None of that. It's not gonna matter. It's not gonna matter. So what I'm telling y'all as a people of color, the people that I care about, get out of religion. Get out of the ways of America. Get out. The ways of America means the land of confusion. Come out of the land of confusion. Come out of confusion. And the ways of America is confusion. Your ways and thoughts of the so-called white man is nothing but confusion. The so-called white man has got us in the condition and got us divided the way that we are. Leave that gospel music alone, because it ain't gonna do nothing but taint your spirit. That's all it's gonna do. Because you got to be careful with listening to that type of music. Even some of the ones that they claim that listen to gospel, because you're gonna see people living totally contrary to what they sing about, and you're gonna be like, wait a minute, how can you sing about something that you're not really living? What kind of Christian is this? That's what you're gonna ask. Leave that Christianity stuff alone. Observe it. Observe it. Yeah, just observe it. And the very people that say they Christian, they be the very one take and call 911 on you, what they call the police. And you be like, wait a minute, they just got to just singing about the white Jesus Sunday. But for some reason, they call up the police, but you just got through singing about your white God. You see what I'm saying? You just got through singing about your white God. A lot of people say they Christians, and I look at them and I be wondering, and I tell them, you's a bunch of bull. Because you can tell when it's bull. You know it's bull. Why do you think they got more women in the church than they do men? And I realize the reason why. Why is it more men? Because men, you can't pull that wool over a black man's eye. Nah, you can't do it. Because most men, most black men know it's BS. That's it. They know it's BS. I don't trust people, no kind of religious people. If you say you sing for the Lord and all that, if you say you preach for God, none of them. I don't trust none of that. And I'm warning all of you all too. Singing on the piano, all that. No. Everybody, people that tell you God loves everybody and God loves the so-called white man just as much as he loves, you better leave them. You better put on your running shoes and run as fast as you could. Because it ain't nothing but a fake religion. It ain't nothing but something to lead you straight to damnation. I'm telling you. And they evil, and they the biggest hypocrites they is. They evil. Mm-hmm. Better leave them alone. I don't have respect for hypocritical church people. I just don't. Not at all. I don't trust them at all. I don't talk to them. I don't speak to them. I don't do none of that. Most of the time, I stay to myself. I don't fool with no religious person. No. Oh, no. If I don't fool with people in general, when I say fool with people in general, I'm talking about just when I work on the job. The only thing that I got in common with the person on the job is doing my work. And if one of my brothers, especially if they're a man of color or whatever, they say they need some help with something, getting something down off the shelf or something like that, I'll help them out. But as far as just sitting there, just trying to just hold along, because when you talk to people, you don't know who you're dealing with. You don't know whether you're dealing with somebody who is an Uncle Tom or a house Negro or whatever. You don't know. And that's not me putting them down. It's just that I don't like house Negro. I just don't like what they're doing. They're dangerous. When you find somebody hanging out with you one day saying that I understand we are going through the oppression and stuff that we're going through, and then in essence you see them the next day and they're hanging out with Hitler, you better leave them alone. Because they could be the very one setting you up and go tell the so-called white man what's going, you know what I mean? You just can't trust people. This is crazy. I don't trust, and you can't even trust people that say, I have a good heart and I love my family and I'll do this and I'll do that. You can't trust people with all that. No, you can't trust people with all that. Just because a person do something good for you doesn't mean that doesn't make them a genuine person. Anybody can do something, a little something good. I'm not gonna turn if a person right now can say, I bought you a bag of potato chips. I'm not going to, in essence, look at that person and be like, oh, this is the best Christian ever. No, you ain't gonna see me doing that. I'm just gonna say, I'm gonna be like, thank you, and that's it. But just like a white man, I don't care what they do. They can give me $1 million. I'm not gonna sit up there and look at them like, oh, the white man gave me $7 million. I'm gonna thank them. I mean, I'm just gonna recognize what they did. Is what I'm trying to say. But I'm not gonna sit up there and just because he gave me a couple of $1 million, I'm not gonna sit up there and look at him as a god. I'm just gonna look at it. He just did something good. No, I'm not gonna do that. That's not gonna give me automatically make me give you a pass and say you God because you gave me a couple of millions and you made me a billionaire. That's not gonna give me the license to sit up there and say you are a good white man, a white person in general. No, that's not gonna make me just automatically just give you a pass. And that's where a lot of our people get deceived at. They figure if the white man is doing something so great for them, like, oh, he bought your TV, he bought your food, he did this and he did that, and he did this and he did that. He gave you several $100 because you didn't have it. What person doing that? Even if it's your own people never did it. But you mean to tell me they give you the authorities is to give this white man a pass because he did all of that? You see what I'm saying? Just because he did all of that, why would you want to give him a pass like he's so perfect and he's the greatest thing ever? And you realize that the grass is not green over on the other side like you think it is. I don't trust Christians. I don't trust them. They are backbiters, evil beasts, slow bellies. That's what the Bible says. Yeah, let me show you. That's in Titus. But a lover of hospitality, a lover of good men, sober, just, holy, temperance, holding fast the faithful word as he had been taught, that he may be able by sound doctrine, both to exhort and to convince the gainsayers, people who try to resist something. For there are many unruly and vain talkers. For there are many unruly and vain talkers and deceivers, especially the day of the circumcision, whose mouth must be stopped, who subvert the whole house, teaching things which they ought not, for filthy lucre's sake. One of them one of themselves, even a prophet of their own, said, the Christians are always liars. See that? It says Christians are always liars, evil beasts, slow bellies. People that claim to be Christians are always liars. Think about this now. That's why I don't trust. It says the Christians are always liars, evil beasts, and slow bellies. This witness is true. Wherefore, rebuke them sharply. That they now see a lot of people will tell you you don't correct your elders. You have a lot of our elderly people who is brainwashed into doing this. And we know that the so-called white man is already demonic anyway, but they corrupted our people with this mentality, with this spirit mentality. This witness is true. Wherefore rebuke them sharply, that they may be sound in the faith, not given heed to Jewish fables and commandments of men that turn from the truth. Unto the pure, unto pure all things are pure. But unto them that are defiled and unbelieving is nothing pure, but even their mind and conscience is defiled. This is now, notice now, the Apostle Paul is not speaking to the ungodly. He's talking about those who profess to be godly. He's talking to the ones that claim that they have the real that they is of God. Unto the pure all things are pure, but unto them which are defiled and unbelieving is nothing pure, but even their mind and conscience is defiled. They profess that they know God, but in works they deny him. Don't a lot of our people do that? When you start talking about them laws and statutes and commandments of the Most High, guess what the people gonna do? They gonna hate you with every core in their mind. Denying him, being abominable and disobedient unto every good work, reprobate. Reprobate. That's right. It says, they profess that they know God, but in works they deny him. A lot of people do that. They make a bunch of noise, singing, whatever it is. They sing, hallelujah. But they ain't nothing. It's just like a dog. A dog can be behind a yard in a fence, and he look like he will rip the flesh off your body, barking and growling, foaming at the mouth. When you let him out the yard, he wouldn't be doing it. When you let him loose and let him out in the real, he don't do all that noise making. You see what I'm saying? But there was a couple of verses right up here. One of themselves, even a prophet of their own, said, the Christians are always liars, evil beasts, slow bellies. You know, the Lord showed me that you was going to get that blessing. And when you point it out to people and tell them, be aware of all this stuff, because people going to lie to you. They're going to present pranks to you. They're going to present something to you that looks real. Miracles, when it says that they are the spirit of devils working miracles, they talking about how the enemy can dress something up so good. The enemy knows how to dress up something and make it perfect. And when the reality of it is, it ain't nothing but a prank. That's it. It looks real. Try running and doing a prank on somebody. If you do a prank on somebody and you do it, they gonna think it's real. They gonna think it's real. Yeah. They gonna perceive it to be real. Because you dressed it up so well. Yeah. So y'all, I'm telling you, I don't trust Christians, so-called Christians. No, I don't trust Christians. I just don't. None of them. Yeah, I just don't trust them. I don't deal with them at all. It's a lot of people like that. Mm-mm. I can't rock with you. So I'm gonna go ahead on. I'm gonna close this video out, and I'm gonna see y'all later. And I'm just gonna go ahead and close out. Peace and love to my people of color. I wasn't trying to put down on our people. I'm just saying I'm talking about the condition that our people are in. But our people are hard. Our people are hard hit. Our people have been trained by the so-called white man is to be hard hit, including our black young teenage children as well. They are definitely that way. They ain't trying to hear nothing about, especially if it's coming from a older person. Nah, they ain't trying to hear that. Nah, they ain't trying to hear that. Now you have a few of them that does that, but it's all because I don't know. Somebody said that they don't really listen to stuff like this here is because in their mindset is like it's not thinking like that. It's like they think you don't know. And I guess that's what causes a lot of the problems too. When you tell them something, they'll make you look stupid. They not gonna hearken to you, they're not gonna listen to you. They're not. This is the way Jacob was in the Bible. Jake was hard-headed. The Israelites, that's what the Israel was hard-headed. Our people have been trained and brainwashed is to be stiff-necked against their own people. But when it comes to the so-called white man, they're very submissive and soft-spoken and everything else. Yeah. So a lot of people, man, they jump up on Sunday morning, boom the gospel and blast it to the speakers blown. Jumping and shouting and listening to all that. It ain't nothing but garbage. That's it. So don't grow up being no Christian. Leave that alone. Don't if you think about getting off into it after you don't watch this video, don't do it. Don't do it. I'm telling you, don't do it. Because you're gonna mess up. And you're gonna be disappointed. And you're gonna be walking around disappointed that you've been cheated out your salvation, all that stuff. All right. Peace and love, people. To my people of color.